After 52 years in Texas, 63 years of the franchise.
And the 2023 MLB season comes to an end. The last team standing, Commish?
Your Texas Rangers.
Texas Rangers. 2 6-shooters, baby. Welcome to 60 feet 6 inches. WHIT, Commish, you're back in the studio.
I am. Glad you're back. It's been a while.
I'm back. It has been a while. Yeah. Yeah, you weren't on last episode.
Oh,
we
missed
had Wolverine here.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did.
Didn't you have somebody else come in?
We did have a special guest.
Who was that?
You have
Tony.
to listen. Yeah. Well, I was going to say you have to listen to the last episode to find out. But
Tony.
Thank you. Yeah, Tony. Nice guy. Professional baseball player.
You know, I think I told you. Did I tell you about this? So he graduated the same year as Adam, my oldest.
Really?
And I recognize the name as he's Tony taking our broadcasting class. And I looked up perfect game. Boom. Right next to each other. Ranked. Exactly. Like, they're like, I forget what they were ranked like in the state. Like overall, like 62nd, 63rd.
That's great.
Pitching, they were like, I think Tony was like 18th, Adam was 19th or something like that.
That's because of you, Commish. You got
They're
that
right
good
there.
blood.
Boom.
Got that
right
good
next
blood.
to each other.
Well, everybody, we're glad to be back in the studio. The 2023 season is over, and that's a wrap, everybody. That was pretty quick. But before we get going, my favorite part of the show, Commish, on this day in baseball history. On this day in baseball history in 1960, the New York Yankees outfielder Roger Maris defeats teammate Mickey Mantle for the American League MVP award. 225 to 222. The second closest vote ever behind Joe D and the Splendid Splinter back in 1947. On this day in baseball history. So,
That's close voting.
Smokes. Very, very close. And then the thing is whenever Roger came over from Kansas City Athletics, he comes and beats Mickey Mantle out, the Mick, the face of the franchise. And then, of course, we all know what he did in 61, back-to-back MVPs, until Aaron Judge broke it last year. Or was it this year? It was this year, right? No, it was last year. Last year. And single season, 61 and 61. So back-to-back MVPs. I think that Roger Maris deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, to be honest. That could be a hot take. I don't know. What do you think, Commissioner?
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. But on this day in baseball history, everybody, and, with baseball wrapping up, I mean, last night was the World Series. Last game. The Rangers didn't waste any time, did they, Commish? Goodness.
4 and done. I mean, 4-1.
Yeah.
But
I mean, game 5 and you're out. It was quick, wasn't it?
Tell you what, I really wasn't that engaged. I wasn't really that engaged in the NLCS or the ALCS.
Commissioner's still a little hurt.
I am. The Braves, just seems like a wasted season. All the records that the Braves held.
Yeah.
I mean, do we want to talk about this later? I mean,
we could talk about this later. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry. I
don't want to be sad the whole segment.
We have a whole segment at the end of the show where you can just let it loose.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, but the Rangers came in and did what they did. 5 games. That's all it took.
They didn't even need their stud, who was postseason, Garcia.
Goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
Absolutely insane. That game 1 home run was that's whenever I knew
the whole playoffs he's been unbelievable.
Yeah.
And game 1.
Yeah. I knew it was going to be an exciting I thought it was going to be an exciting World Series. It was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it was good. 2 teams that you usually don't see. I predicted if everybody goes back to the beginning of the season on the show on 60 feet 6 inches, I predicted it was going to be the Braves and the Rangers. And I said Rangers in 5 with the Diamondbacks. I figured with the way that their offense was coming, the Diamondbacks, I figured they could squeeze 1 win out. But then whenever you lose 3 straight games, goodness.
Yeah.
Torey Lovullo was a little hurt,
Well, they did a lot to win that Phillies series.
They did.
which was beautiful.
It was. It was a little bittersweet. It was. Yeah.
Attaboy, Bryce.
Attaboy, Bryce. But I think that which was surprising because Garcia definitely got them there, but whenever he went down, I think that, and this is not unusual, Corey Seager just stepped up and then put the team on his back. But also, what I did notice is because I know that the team is good on paper, but whenever you get to watch them, Diamondbacks are a solid team.
Oh, they're going to be around for a while.
They are. Yeah, Zach Gallen is a great pitcher. What's the other Pabst, I believe that's his name.
Fat.
Thank you. Fat.
P-F-A-A-D-T.
Yes. Something. Yes. Thank you. Great pitcher as well. And you have a good leadership on the Diamondbacks with Evan Longoria, but you have Ketel Marte where he is goodness.
Got some young
good talent who's going to be the rookie of the year, I think.
Absolutely.
Alec Thomas.
They got some young guys.
Yes, they do. Christian Walker.
Oh yeah.
Good guys. Really good, solid team. But it became one-sided pretty quick. I mean, there's a lot of offense. Don't get me wrong, but it was pretty easily after Game 3 you knew who was going to win. And then Nathan Eovaldi coming out there and just goodness, he's a different animal.
Yeah, they dominated.
Yes, they did.
I mean, Arizona won the second game pretty big.
Yeah,
but that was it.
Yeah, I mean it was kind of high scoring. I mean, first game Rangers pulled off with the walk off by Garcia. Game 2, the Diamondbacks actually just tore up the Rangers, and Merrill Kelly, pitched great, 9-1, and then Game 3, Rangers take out 3-1, which wasn't much of an offense, but that tells you that the Diamondbacks pitching is actually pretty solid. They got a good bullpen too.
Yeah, it sort of took on the flavor of like what college football's been in the last couple of years, where they're actually the opposite, right? The semifinals, the NLCS and the ALCS were really exciting, and the championship game was weak.
Yeah, I mean because they went to 7 games.
Last year.
Yeah. I mean it's pretty one-sided, right? And then Game 4, the Diamondbacks started to come back, scored 4 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th, and I was thinking, well, that's a little bit too late. And then Game 5, great pitching matchup. Eovaldi and then Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen, starts pitching in the 6th inning with no hits given up, gives up a little bloop to Seager, and then it just fell off after that. And then Alec Thomas is going to remember this for the rest of his life. I can tell you that. Unless he goes out there and wins an MVP and then a ring or something like that, then he can forget it. But
I don't know. He's not going to forget that game against the Phillies.
Yeah, I agree. Because
pinch hit homer.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on.
I know, but they were within 1 run.
They were, but they were also down 3-1.
I agree, but what about the Red Sox in 2004?
Billy Buck.
That's pretty bad. But the thing is with Billy Buckner, with the Red Sox, is they even had another game to win,
Right.
I saw it, like I told you, Commish. I saw the ball take a hook. I saw it, and I was thinking he's either going to have to block this up or it's going to get right by him. And thankfully, Corbin Carroll, that's why he's the Rookie of the Year, backing up his center fielder and actually doing whatever he can to get it in before, I think it was Heim, could have been, that came in and did that. But I thought that Paul Sewald was a lot more dominant in the postseason. Listen, I'm not taking away his ability as an athlete, but this guy's awful. The first guy that came up was Josh Jung, hit a line drive, almost hit him in the head, back up the middle. And I was thinking, oh gosh, this ninth inning is going to be rough. And then Marcus Semien comes up after that Alec Thomas play, hits a bomb. And I'm thinking, oh, gosh, this game's over. Just like in 21 with the Braves, after their offense just exploded after Max Fried went out and just
in Houston.
Yep. So, I mean, you got Corey Seager, who has won his 2nd World Series MVP, 4th player in MLB history to do that, 1st player to do it in both leagues, and this guy's not even 30 yet. He's about to be, but he's not 30 yet. I think you think he's definitely getting paid what he's worth.
He's legit.
Yeah, I agree.
We don't see him much out here.
No, we don't.
Playing out,
and that's
Texas,
a shame.
But yeah, he's good.
Yeah. And Marcus Semien's pretty clutch too. He hit some bombs. And Adolis Garcia, he's definitely not like Adonis. Whenever Adonis was in Atlanta a couple years ago, but he's and they didn't even need him.
Nope.
He got hurt, and they said, well, we got you. No big deal. And then you got DeGrom in the dugout, which I thought that was pretty great. But, I mean, hats off to Bruce Bochy. That's why they won. They have Bruce Bochy.
I know. Think about all those teams he had in San Fran. And
the leadership just
the dude
oozes
can win.
wins. Yes. And I think that's why Chris Young went out and got him. Chris Young used to be a former pitcher himself. He was talking about that he was on MLB Network, and he was talking to Pujols and who else was it? I believe it was Jeter or somebody. I'm not sure. But he was talking to Albert Pujols, and he said that the reason why I got Bruce Bochy is because we were playing each other, and I was facing you, Pujols. And Bruce Bochy came out there, and it was the 6th inning, and I thought he was going to take me out of the game, and I talked to him, and he left me in, and I ended up striking you out. So he said that the mentality of the guys trusting you, trusting your ability, and going out there and letting you play, I think that speaks volume to the success of the organization. I mean, the first one in over 60 years as a franchise. I got a question for you, Commish.
Okay.
All right. So this coincides with our on this day in baseball history. Okay. This is a 2-part question.
Oh boy.
What were the Rangers before they went to Texas, and who was the first manager of the franchise?
What were they before they went to Texas?
Yes.
I have no idea.
We can edit this waiting time out. You can take your time.
You can take all. I could sit here until 2024 and still don't have an answer for you.
Okay. So they were the Washington Senators.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
And their first manager was actually the splendid Splinter himself, Ted Williams.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that
Washington
cool?
Senators. All right. Yeah.
And Ted Williams was their first manager. Oh, splendid Splinter. Which I'm going to go back to that on day baseball history. This is a hot take. That year, whenever Joe D won that MVP, it was in 47. What did he do that year? Hit streak, right?
Right.
Ted hit 406.
That is true.
Come on, people. I understand the hit streak, but 406?
Both are pretty amazing.
It's never been done before.
Has a hit streak been done before?
No.
Okay. So.
But, I mean, 406. I mean, Ted Williams has the highest on-base percentage of any player in baseball history. So you know his consistency. I mean, I'll say this. I think that Joe DiMaggio is one of the best overall players that's ever played the game. I really do. But no doubt Ted Williams is the best hitter that's ever lived.
Oh, there's no question.
No doubt. But anyways, off topic, but it's a fun show, right, Commish? We haven't done it in a while, and you haven't been on here.
No, I haven't.
I missed you. So, I mean, you have a team that's that won the World Series, Commish. You got another team that made an appearance, haven't made an appearance in the last 20 years since Luis Gonzalez blooped that ball over second base, and then the Diamondbacks won, which that was a nasty rotation. Schilling and Randy Johnson.
Yeah,
disgusting.
it was.
Nasty. Not to mention Tony Womack. Tony Womack is not appreciated enough. I love you, Tony. But you think any of these teams are going to be back next year? Maybe year after that. You think the Diamondbacks are?
I think both of these. I think both of these teams will be in the hunt.
Yeah.
Diamondbacks are so young. I mean, they were ahead of schedule.
True. That's very true.
They'll be back.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at their division. I mean, the Dodgers are sort of slipping, I think.
Because they got no pitching. They got none.
I mean, they're still relying on Kershaw. Are you kidding me? And who else is over there? San Diego? What in the world?
They already got rid of Melvin. Melvin's already the Giants manager.
So, I think you look at MLB and you look at some of the young teams, man. The Baltimore Orioles, the Atlanta Braves, what they've done. Obviously, Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
I mean,
got a good front office.
I love it for baseball.
I do too. Yeah. Got a lot of teams
stuff.
that can win. Maybe the A's should spend about $5 and maybe try to do that. But, sorry, Oakland. Sorry, Ricky. You gone. But I think that the Rangers will be back next year also. I'm gonna say the Rangers and the Braves next year, just like I said this year. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. Do you think that MLB is going to take any look at the playoff bracket and maybe change it? Only because you had 3 teams that had over 100 wins, except for the Braves. They won 1 game, but every other team, Dodgers and the Orioles, got swept. And they won their division.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit before the show, right? And something has to be done. You can't have a week off. In the game of baseball, it's such a rhythm game, pitching and hitting.
Yeah.
And if you take a week off, it's not the same.
It's like dancing without music.
It's not the same. And not only that, you're taking a week off to play a team that's been in a heated 3-game series.
Right.
And then they're pretty warmed up and they're on a high,
Hot.
a momentum high because they won their series.
Absolutely.
And then they're playing another short series with you, a 5-game series.
Yep. That's no sweat for them.
So something's got to be done because I don't think it's disappointing season. I mean, it was a great season to watch our Atlanta Braves. The records that they were breaking, the hitting, just everything.
Yeah. Everything was
and
clicking.
then it was just such a letdown, man.
It's like somebody stuck a pin in the
It
balloon.
was just
just
awful.
Popped.
Just
yeah.
awful.
And it went down. It was quick. I don't know if you realized it just ended like snap.
Bang,
it was over.
Bam.
Yep.
2 years in a row, sort of.
Exactly.
And it's just something's got to be done. I don't think you can go 8 teams. I think that's going a little extreme. I don't know. If you
I
did,
hope we don't expand the teams. There's already too many.
I know,
already.
but if you did, at least nobody would have a bye and you'd be playing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd rather see. Okay, season ends on Saturday.
Yeah.
Is that correct or Sunday?
If it ends
Saturday,
on
right?
Saturday, you start on Monday.
Yeah. Okay. And a wild card, you know what? One game.
One game.
That's it. And you know what else? Because you're a wild card, you have the one game. Guess where you get to travel the next night to play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that would make a difference, right?
Yeah. The division winner, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So Arizona, who'd they beat?
Who did they play?
I forget.
So we got
The Phillies played.
Phillies played Diamondbacks. Played
No.
The Braves before that.
Arizona beat Milwaukee, right?
Yes.
And then Philly beat. Why can't I even think of it? Was it the second team from the
It wasn't
Central?
the Marlins, was it?
No,
was it the Reds?
No,
it wasn't the Reds. We can't think.
Anyway, the Marlins. I think it was the Marlins.
I think so.
So you know what? The Phillies. Okay, you beat the Marlins. Mm-hmm. Boom. You know what? You're in Atlanta Tuesday night. So you lose your starting pitcher edge, right? Mm-hmm. That's what should happen with a wild card. Sorry.
Nobody loses their rhythm.
And then you know the number 1, number 2 seeds that get a bye.
Yep.
They're not going to lose the rhythm because it's only a day off or 2 days off.
Right. Just pretty much travel one day and then the game.
So you should get something for being a 1 or 2 seed. That's what you get. You get a couple days. You get a home game where the wild card's traveling to you after playing the day before.
It was the Marlins.
So there.
Right. Yeah. They swept 2-0. 3-game series. But it should be 1. I agree.
And I think that series. I think after the wild card series, I think they should all just be 7-game series. Why not? Hockey does it.
It used to be 9. Did you know that, Commish? It used to be 9 games in the World Series.
Hockey does it.
I agree with that. Only because if you're going to have 3 games, especially
I think even a 5-game series is tough.
You make an excellent point because if they're hot, 5 games is nothing to them if they just swept a 3-game series.
Yeah, you want the best teams. And you know what? If you're going to have a 162-game season, then you can have 7-game series.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
But not to make. I mean, I think that was a big cause of it. But Braves got some issues with their pitching, dude.
Yeah, they do. And I hot take. I don't know if Max is coming back.
It doesn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, because we could get something better. Go out and get Blake Snell.
He's not a number 1.
Go out and get Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola's a free agent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
or John Montgomery from the Rangers. He's going to be a free agent.
I'd give up Fried for Nola in a heartbeat.
I'd somehow talk to the Diamondbacks about getting Zach Gallen. Goodness.
Could you keep Nola and Fried? Fried be a great number 2.
Yeah.
Then you bring the smoker in as your number 3.
Ooh-wee.
Then you're talking.
Yeah. And then, yeah. And
But it was just disappointing because of the season. I mean, just so dominant. And
yeah, you had the Braves clicking. I mean, you have Acuna, who's unanimously the MVP. Did something in baseball that's never been done. Probably.
Never
I don't know if
be
it's going to
done
be done again.
40-70?
Yeah. Unless he breaks it.
Nobody done 40-50, right? Or was
60.
there a handful?
40-50, 40-60, 40-70.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he stole 72.
73,
73.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. 40-70, pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say. And the Braves, they have dynasty quality. But can you deliver?
I mean, I don't want to go through the same narrative that we did in the 90s.
Oh, gosh. Please,
The
no.
Braves, a dynasty in the 90s? Well, not
With,
well,
yeah. Not as many World
yeah.
Series with as many appearances, that's
Right.
for sure.
So we don't want to repeat that.
Yeah, let's
business.
just knock on wood that doesn't happen. But I don't see the Braves really, taking a step back. I do see the Diamondbacks taking a step back. Maybe not winning the division next year, but if they play like they have been, then they will remember this. If they remember being in the World Series and how terrible it feels to lose, maybe they'll put a little fire and maybe want to be there next year.
So I'm going to throw something at you here not completely off base. Still talking about the Braves. Game 1 against the Phillies. You have dominated all 162 games. You've dominated your division. You've dominated the NL. You've dominated everybody. And what does your manager do? Changes the lineup from completely something different that we have not done all season long. You know what that's saying? We're scared of you, Philadelphia.
I don't trust my lineup.
No, we're scared of you, Philadelphia. So we have to make an adjustment to adjust to you. We're not better than you. That's what that's saying.
It does.
That was so aggravating when I saw that.
It was tough.
It's like, what are we doing?
That was I don't understand why Snicker did that.
I don't think anybody does.
That was one of the worst moves I could have. Oh, goodness. And it's so funny, Commish. I don't know if you're feeling the same thing, but whenever I got finished watching Game 1, whenever we lost, I knew it was over. Because that momentum that they had just got completely it looked like somebody put it in, those people with those little nits in their hands, and then they can cross their fingers and then put your hand in there and you tie it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It just crossed you up. It was like an intersection. And then the team was probably thinking the same thing. Well, I'm sure the manager came up to him and said, hey, I'm going to do this to the lineup. But why would you do that? You mess up the rhythm of the team that's 104 wins.
Yeah, it was bad.
I agree that was his ball was kind of shriveled up on him right there.
I mean, I think I've probably watched the Braves this season more than any other season. I was turning them on every night to see them hit, the hitting, the Strider striking out people, just everything. And then the letdown. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've told plenty of people. I think I've even told you, Commissioner, that I can't imagine any other team being as exciting as this team in 2023.
But if you don't get it done, if you don't close that last chapter,
it don't mean nothing.
Yeah, it's just
you lost.
It's a crappy movie.
It is, yeah, with a terrible ending, which is pretty much every movie nowadays. Yeah, it seemed like a replay only because last year, it was just like last year, just like 2022, same way, and the Phillies were red hot. The Atlanta Braves were ice cold, except for Austin Riley.
At least the Phillies didn't win anything.
Yeah, the Phillies still didn't win, so that means that we're okay. We got another chance,
Yeah.
But I would say that the Phillies probably have the best chance of signing Aaron Nola again.
You think?
Yeah, I don't know if Alex is likes the idea of signing within the division. You know what I mean? But
It's Aaron Nola,
we
dude.
need another pitcher. And I think that they're going to decline Charlie's option, which starting today, they have 5 days. And also Eddie Rosario. Where's Eddie going to? I think that you keep him only because $9 million is a pretty good deal. He had over 20 home runs.
Yeah.
You know? He's about to win a Gold Glove. He's a Gold Glove finalist.
That's
Did you know
crazy. How?
That's the question right there. I wouldn't suspect that he would be the front runner, but he's a finalist.
You remember the one game when he just couldn't find the ball anywhere out there?
Well, I think he's got 20/30 vision now, so he's good to go. He's got that Tiger Woods eye. I hope that Austin Riley wins a Gold Glove this year. He totally deserves it. And a Silver Slugger. I mean, you got almost every Brave in the position for a Silver Slugger. Obviously, Acuna's going to win the MVP, the Hank Aaron, and the Silver Slugger. And then, exciting season. Unfortunately, you can't do that in the playoffs, and you can't do it in the postseason in general. Acuna got a little upset. He didn't talk to the reporters, went straight back to the bus, And then he said later, I felt like I let my team down. Well, you did. But that's okay. You did enough for the season to get us there.
Yeah.
It's
a rhythm thing with him, too.
It is, yep. And Charlie being hurt, that's why I think that you got to decline him.
Yeah.
You could sign him for another deal, but I don't feel comfortable giving him $20 million. I don't. I'm not saying that he's not worth it because career-wise, he's like a 3-sub guy, which is great. But whenever you need him, he ain't there. Same thing with Max. I mean, just a little blister. I'm not overplaying or anything, but come on, man. Come on, man.
He didn't really help us in the regular season.
No, he didn't. He was out. So you can either get him for a deal or you just let him go.
We're definitely going in the right direction. But you have to look at, too, we had, Bryce Elder and Sean Murphy before All-Star were insane, really good. After All-Star break, they both sort of – and as a catcher, I can see it, right? Because that's wear and tear on your body. It's going to – gosh, I think he had a handful of home runs after the All-Star break. 1 or 2, maybe.
I think that I don't know if that has to do with him being tired or him just not being in there finding a rhythm,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if Travis d'Arnaud is going to take a step back, which he'll be back next year, but if he takes a step back at a lesser role or maybe, I guarantee you he's going to be a coach. That's for sure. But I think that you plug him in more because even whenever Murphy wasn't catching in Oakland, he was still DHing, But, you got to have the guy behind there.
Yeah.
But, have a lot of questions for the 2024 season, that will be answered. But as far as the World Series, Commish, how would you rate it 1 to 10?
Pretty low.
I was about to say I give it a 4.
Yeah, I didn't really watch much.
Yeah.
Maybe even lower than that.
You think so? Yeah. Well,
I was thinking a 2 or a 3.
America thinks so. It was one of the lowest viewing World Series, in
and
a long time.
And it's not because it was the teams, I don't think. There was just the first game was great. I watched that Diamondbacks-Phillies series.
Yeah.
That sure was exciting.
It was, yeah, because I wanted the Phillies to lose.
But, if you're looking nationally, people want to see the big names.
Yeah, they do.
They want to see the Ronald Acuñas.
You know who I want to see?
You
know who I want to see, Commish? Mike Trout. I think his days are numbered, though.
As Atlanta Brave.
Hey, you know what? Now, if you're Mike Trout, you know what, Commish, I'm going to ask you this. If you're Mike Trout, do you go up to him? Do you go up to Artem Moreno in the offseason? Since he said he's not going to sell the team, do you go up to him and in the offseason and say, hey, man, let's grab some food. Let's talk. Do you ask him straight up, just in a, of course, roundabout way, but do you ask him for a trade? Why can't you just say, you can get so much for me right now? You obviously have to rebuild your organization. If you want to even sign Ohtani, you could trade me and then sign him. But, if you're Mike Trout, don't you want out? Don't you want out?
Yeah, you want out. Absolutely.
So what's he? I mean, he's got to be doing something. He's got to be reevaluating because he's too good of a player. And I believe that I really don't think that he would be this hurt if he was somewhere else. Because I think that he's just being utilized in a very terrible way. And he's not a center fielder anymore. He could be a corner outfielder or just a DH. But one, he's pretty big, so he gets hurt a lot. But, I mean, you're what? I'm going to watch my tongue. I'm not going to say waste a career. But
he'd be a great left fielder.
This guy's just rotting in Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim hell. And then Ohtani's gone. Rendon is a shell of himself. That dude doesn't even play. He just gets a check. You know? Fouls a couple balls off of his ankle every couple of times. Then he's out for 8 months. Dude's like, that's all right, man. I'm getting paid $35 million. No big deal. But you think any major changes that the Atlanta Braves need to make to put themselves even more ahead than what they were this year? It's kind of tough, isn't it?
I think they got to get a player. They got to get a number one pitcher or something big.
You know what? You know who I want, Commish? I want the Braves to get like a Jock Peterson again.
Why?
Because I want
that does nothing for us.
Let me explain.
No, it does nothing.
Let me explain. So I believe that the Braves are a little soft. They need a dude that's got a little bit of an attitude, like chip on his shoulder, like whenever Josh Donaldson was in Atlanta. You know, like whenever he got in a fight in Pittsburgh. That was pretty cool, where he just literally threw the catcher out of the way. But I think that they have structure, yes, but they need that edge, like that team, like you said. They were afraid.
I don't think they were afraid.
Well, they didn't. I mean, they put their tail between their legs.
Put duct tape on Arcia's mouth.
That dude.
What was he doing, dude?
That's why I'm glad we didn't sign him for big money.
Jawing with fans.
Come on, man.
Dude.
Acuna was even like, yo, man, come on, man. Like this, you're a professional. You ain't even supposed to be listening to that, man. But, also, I don't know why you put Vaughn Grissom as your last at bat and your last hope, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
But,
well, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And, the offseason is going to be exciting. I mean, the Braves have already made a couple moves.
What have they done?
They got they re-signed Pierce Johnson 2 years, and they signed Joe Jimenez today.
No, okay,
yeah, and then you got Matzik coming back.
That could be good.
Oh, be very good. So, Colin McHugh, he's got a $6 million option.
No,
he's
see
gone.
Ya. Later.
And then Brad Hand, he's gone.
Yeah, see ya.
Charlie, I'm gonna go ahead and say he's not gonna be. It's the option's not gonna be. It's gonna be declined, but they could reevaluate him, maybe like $12, $13 million, only because of his age. Because I still think he's worth that. Because that dude is nasty, and he gives us a lot of innings. And these young cats need to learn from him. Freaking get some balls and go out there and pitch. But Kyle Wright, he's gonna be out.
Strider lets him hang.
Yes, he does. Excuse me. Thank you. You're right. Spencer Strider, thank you.
He's not scared enough.
Mike Soroka, I think he's done for the organization.
Yeah.
I think he's going. But other than that, I mean, you don't really have much you need except for a maybe two solid starting pitchers. You know, maybe Dylan Dodd or Jared Schuster could come up here and show us how it's done. Or Vines. Or Winans. Winans wasn't bad.
Oh, we had some guys that made some decent appearances.
Yeah.
I mean, even Elder just, got rough at the end.
Bryce Elder, what are you doing the second half, dude? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Do you go, instead of throwing to warm up your arm, what are you doing? Are you working at a grocery store? Like the complete opposite of what you do.
I was like the Phillies series. They were bringing in a dude every inning throwing over 100, dude. It was crazy.
That Strom guy's nasty.
Huh?
Strom.
They all were. They're bringing them in, and what do we bring in? Freaking dudes with long hair that throwing junk for balls.
I mean, That's all we had. We don't even have, other than Matzik, we don't even have anybody that throws hard except for Iglesias, and I think he tops out like 97. But I think the Braves need to go out and get Josh Hader. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, that'd work.
Be a bulldog, be like a Roldis Chapman, which Chapman was pretty dominant in the World Series. It was like old Roldis Chapman. But yeah, I mean, that was a pretty exciting season, Commish. I mean, it went by pretty quick.
It did. Went by really fast.
But before you know it, guess what's going to be here?
It'll be here, spring
training. Yeah, baby.
I need a break.
I think I do too.
Because of the letdown. I need a break.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all going to take a long break, Commish. We're still going to be here. We're going to be talking like we did last year. This year, we're going to revisit our favorite stadiums, our favorite movies that we didn't list before. That's going to be pretty exciting. Wish list.
Favorite ballpark food.
Yeah, I like that. Favorite ballpark item to drink out of that they give you at the parks. You know what I mean? How like they have different shapes. I'm not going to give it away because it's a spoiler, but you know what I mean? They have like different containers where you can keep a beer in or something like that.
Favorite baseball personality outside of a player that you've seen like on the field, like a character or something?
I've got one. And she's got two.
Biggins.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The Kissing Bandit.
Yes. Yes. That would never happen today, would it, Commish?
I don't know. That's pretty classic.
You get tackled.
I don't know. You think they tackle somebody like that?
Well, probably not. Well, with her, after a while, because she's been everywhere, she was like an icon. So they just let her because it was part of like her gimmick, But
San Diego Chicken.
San Diego Chicken. The San Diego Padres. The Padres that used to walk around. Chief Nakahoma.
That's right. There's some good ones.
Yeah. Philly Fanatic, of course.
Of course.
Manny the Marlin. You remember Manny the Marlin?
Vaguely.
Yeah. Back in like Piazza and Sheffield days. Jeff Conine. You remember Jeff Conine? Yeah. Mike Lowell. And the Marlins, they won a couple World Series within a short amount of time. You know what I mean?
Creature.
Yeah. Yes.
Remember him?
Yes.
Were you around that time?
I was. Yes. And they had young Dontrell, young Miguel Cabrera.
I just think about those days. Kissing Bandit running around, bouncing all over the place, smooching players. Chief Nakahoma getting high out in center field in the tent. Great times.
Oh,
great times in baseball. No doubt.
Absolutely. Well, Commish, it was fun, man. I'm glad you came back. I'm glad we're here. We're going to touch on this soon, man. So thanks again, everybody, for joining the show. We're always a pleasure to bring this to you because we're just talking baseball, and we love to have you guys listen with us. This whole show itself has been brought to you by Complete Game Broadcasting and also TriVitamins.com. Keep your grass green and your pants dirty. So long, everybody.